Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another live stream here on the Game Wisdom YouTube channel. We are going to be doing a first look live at the latest narrative adventure game, Where the Water Tastes Like Wine. It was just released today, and developers were kind enough to give me a press key. And definitely looking forward to it. I've heard people compare it to that game, I think it was like 88 Days or 80 Days, which is a very interesting take. Hey, Gordo. No, I don't have any wine. I got milk here. So this is a literal first look. I just finished installing the game 5 minutes before starting the stream. So let's take a look and see what's going on. It just began with me entering, looks like a poker house, and there's a lot of weird looking creatures here playing.
The lady fiddling with dice gets good cards, but has no real strategy. The man to your right seems to just hold on to the highest cards he has, regardless of suit or any consideration of matches.
So far, there have not been any options whatsoever. Just load us right in.
The man in gray across from you, though, he's good. He already had the largest pile of coins when you bought in, and while your winnings grow quickly, you can't quite catch him. One by one, the other players leave the table.
Alright, let's see what we got here. The aesthetics look really nice, though. I always do like that hand-drawn look to these kinds of games. It's never good when there's a skull on the aces.
Finally, it's just you and the man in gray. He looks at you, full of humor, and winks. Last hand, he deals, you draw, and look at your hand. It's good. It's great. But the man in gray pushes forward his whole pile. You're not sure exactly how much it is, but it's... The man in gray stops you. Now, if you like, I'll let you wager your word. I know you'll be good for it. Just promise you'll pay the debt, however I ask.
Well, I think we all know what we gotta do here. I guess we gotta go all in, right, or the story doesn't begin.
The man in gray smiles. All right.
Alright. Oh, that's not good. That's not good either.
Well, your luck wasn't so good, was it? That's quite the hand, but not for the game we're playing. I'm afraid you owe me. Your life, sure, but more than that, your labor. You see, this land is built on stories. It's one big story, this country, woven of many small ones. Few of the small ones are strictly true, and the big story is mostly a lie.
The music's really good. I just have a feeling about the copyright claim for it.
All the stories and songs and myths and legends start somewhere, with a seed. As they're told and retold and passed around, to pay your debt to me, you'll be carrying stories, finding the seeds first and then spreading them, telling them onwards so they can begin gaining strength.
As one of the voice actors.
This is no light task. Stories are heavy. Most of the stories you'll find will be small seeds. They might be true, but they'll grow wild and unbelievable with the telling. The more important stories are the true ones, the ones people will tell you about their own lives. Those often get lost in the weaves of the big story. The more true stories you can find and tell, the more you can weave that truth into the big story. Tarnish it a bit perhaps, but isn't a dingy and battered truth better than a shining lie? Now, go ahead.
Alright. Alright, let's see what we got here. Man, 20 hours for a narrative game. We really don't hear about that all that often. Alright, what should we give them? Let's go for justice. A series of doors. Okay, let's see what this is. Well, that sounds interesting. Alright, let's go for the tower.
I'll strip away your flesh to make the journey easier, but still
that's
you'll
good.
feel pain, hunger, weariness, thirst, and despair. They're all part of stories, the part not often told. And death, yes, but don't worry. As long as your task remains, you'll come back.
Oh, yeah, I think we're just learning all about our task here. So let's see.
Travel? That's your job. Wander from place to place, gather. People get bored hearing the same stories over and over.
Alright, let's see. He has to save all the stuff.
You sometimes have to make choices about what kind of story you're finding. Is it a don't gather too many of one kind, though? This grand story.
Alright, 2 more.
Your deepest desires? Your greatest wish? Heaven? Big Rock Candy Mountain? Well, I don't know where that is. It's supposed to be somewhere in this country. Ask the people you meet. They're all searching for the same thing.
I believe this game takes place during the Depression era, too.
It's just luck. Funny how bad luck seems to follow the folks who already... Well, try your luck. It's not all bad. You'll have to work hard. Not many who can do that. Go on your way, Seeker. Maybe, either way, it'll be an experience. I'm jealous. I hope you find what you're looking for.
Alright. Oh, jeez. Oh, here we go. So we're a traveling skeleton now.
Well, I'm gonna scroll my name on the bare bones of the earth. I'm gonna dig
Oh yeah, I'm getting copyright claim for this.
into the ground. 'Cause when that very
This bungalow is being ransacked. There's furniture piled in the front yard. Ammunition heaped under the mailbox. The 2 heavily armed, mud-caked women leaning over the porch railing share the same... You're about to hand her a smoke when those men draw pistols and shove you hard into the dirt. You know these girls? They demand. Once they've dumped your bag out into the road, they decide you're harmless. If you were selling booze too,
Yeah.
you'd have a lot more cash.
'Cause when my toes burn low and my trains run out of track, I won't be no one else to dig my hole.
Definitely interesting looking. I can't seem to run though. Let's see. I can finally get some controls here. Oh, we have a whistle button. That's good to know. Oh, a hitchhike.
And when I'm gone empty, they're the
Anybody want to pick me up?
ones who'll bury me.
Alright, so what do we have here? Oh god, there's 219 stories in this game. That doesn't sound good. There's our map. So these are all the people we need to find.
Of this land, and by I'll see them far and long. 'Cause when the night come down,
so I assume we are just going to basically be exploring everywhere.
This will be my tale, my vagrant song.
I need to start a little bit while I'm moving the camera around.
This will be my tale, my vagrant song.
Off the road and into the woods, you can't help but come across this package by the old tree tied to a sturdy stick. The shape gives a start.
Please don't tell my pa that I'm in here.
It says in a small voice.
Pa doesn't want to live with us anymore. But I want to go with him. Don't tell him, please. I'm hiding.
His father must have been here at some point, but you sure can't see him now.
Please.
Alright. I see why a lot of people said the music in this game is really good. There's some funky looking sky though. Seeing how fast we're walking, I can see why it's going to be a 20-hour-long game.
They don't come every year, you know. The old man is sitting at the edge of a rotting old pier.
Right.
Just when the fishing is going to be good. He taps great, black, thick. Another year of this town being here, he replies.
Okay, thank you. Oh, there's cars here. Maybe I can hitch a ride.
A woman walks the small town square with the poise of Betty Davis. You question a well-dressed man parked outside an oyster house. Prudish woman. I took her on a fine date and she didn't remove so much as a ribbon. Excuse me, can you... You talk with a waitress smoking outside a diner.
Something funny about her. Just showed up one day. Doesn't work, doesn't live anywhere as far as I know. Just around. Myself,
You ask the
assault her.
woman if you may join her at a public bench.
You may. Lovely outside, isn't it?
Her eyes are a beautiful shade of brown.
Okay. So we have dice. Okay, I guess we don't have any money. Okay, so here we go. So these are the different classes of stories. Because that's our timeline of events. So what's our limit? Oh goodness. Oh my god. Damn. This is actually very, very big for an adventure game. Maybe I can head to my city and see what stories are there. So these are the people we need to meet. Okay, why am I playing all these open world games all of a sudden? This is
You can
getting
see
weird.
storm clouds on the horizon, and you don't relish the thought of being
Alright, let's
at
go
the
there.
top of an ornate wrought iron spiral. You're breathless. Looks like we got a visitor. Sounds like a man's voice, deep and rough. After a moment, The door unlatches from the inside and opens. The man before you is tall and despite the rough exterior, this room looks like a well-appointed parlor. There's a rug on the well-trod wooden floor and an enormously plush couch. A few years. The tall one sits on the sofa, wrapping his arm casually around the other lighthouse keeper. 5, says the smaller, but by no means small, man.
That long? Time flies.
Let's have some
You wake
tea.
up the next morning on their old sofa, still
Okay. This helps. How do we get out of the car, though? Or it just takes... Oh, okay, it just takes us to the next city.
a dusty truck and a man on horseback pull up next to one
1 second. Make sure this
another
game's
in
not actually
front.
doing
The
anything.
man with the truck leaps into the street.
Brother!
He shouts. The one on the horse tumbles out of his saddle.
Brother!
He screams.
Oh,
They
jeez.
Everyone here is watching these two older men cry and hug one another in the
Alright, sure.
The long-lost brothers pose in front of traffic, cry snot pouring out of their noses.
Oh, I guess we got money. Oh, man. Yeah, the walking, I think, is going to be a bit of an annoying factor for me. It's going to make exploring, as you can see, take a little bit longer than normal. Anyone want to take a bet on how many copyright claims I'm going to get for playing this game? Nobody knows I'm a skeleton either. Alright, let's see what's in Boston. Oh. Let's head to the store. Go for some orange juice. Let's see. Alright, what we
This
have?
city is like no other you've been to. Crooked streets splay out in a maze of narrow passages, no two alike.
Let's keep
Unable
walking.
to afford rescue, you keep walking. The asphalt turns. It's hard finding your way through.
Am I going to be
pitch
killed in this
darkness.
game?
You go by touch and sound. You quiet yourself, suddenly fearful. The clear sky tells you it's not thunder. When you come to, there's no sign of the commotion, the war that you...
Alright, that's Boston. So there's a fire. Oh, you can't.
Hey there, stranger. You're welcome to enjoy this fire with me, if you're respectful, that is. This here is my spot, and I ain't inclined to share it with any bad characters. You can call me Quinn. These here are my venturing companions, Cass is the big un, and the one with the spots is Flip. I usually beat my way on the rails, but the road news said this town was fat, and the weather was fine. So Hey, do you got any really thrilling stories to tell? I'm Hank.
Alright, so now we have to tell some stories. These are the stories. Let's go for this, see what happens.
Well, that sure was a downer. Give me a good venture tale instead any day. Freedom. Well, teacher used to talk about freedom like America was eat up with it. But the tramping kind seems to be just about the only real freedom still in supply. Ain't no freedom from an empty stomach or bad weather, unless you're rich. You got any stories that are a little sad?
Let's see, what do we have that's sad? Telling that's sad. Let's go for this.
Not sure I quite follow that. Authority, bosses and such. I ain't nobody's little Angelina, if that's what you're asking. I take care of myself. I don't need no jocker looking out for me. So if you're offering, don't. You want to keep enjoying my spot or not? I want to hear one of them venturing tales.
Okay. I don't think seagulls are gonna work here. Let's go for this.
I don't get too much out of tales that are so cheerful. Not my family. There ain't no way I'm gonna start jaw flapping about those bastards. Judases. I'm in the mood for something real funny like.
I don't think I have anything here.
What's the use in telling sweet, happy tales if well, I don't know a whole lot about the past, but they say there's an Injun grave around these parts. Say it's haunted and full up. I used to love hearing stories of cowboys and Injuns fighting it up. Would swap tales with the youngin'. Hey, tell me one of those.
Well, we do have one about the fire. Maybe that will help him. It's not popping up anymore. I don't think I told him that one yet. Oh. Oh. Let's see if he likes the story about the woman.
Ain't life got enough tear-jerkers in it without telling stories like sad? Well, so you think just 'cause I'm young, I gotta be sad, crying after my mama. I don't need you looking after me. So if you're off, what you really ought to be asking yourself is if you want to keep enjoying my spot or not. Well, night's over. I think I'll see what's happening up the road this way.
Huh? Okay.
Didn't understand all your stories. The tramping life suits me just fine. With things being so depressed, folks walk around. Plenty nice things to see if and you know where to look.
Alright, so we have to find more stories. Well, that's kind of our main form of progression. Get more stories, talk to the people, and try to get them to open up to you.
Outside the small thicket of apple trees, the phrase, "tended to," there's an extra shovel. With it, the two of you make short work of the... He stoops to the ground and lowers the pup into the earth.
Okay. I saw there was a town over here. This could be a few minutes. Something tells me this is not going to be Breath of the Wild. I'm going to unlock a horse anytime soon. For you folks watching this live, I figure, do you want to take this in maybe like 45 minutes to an hour, and then maybe we'll switch off to another game? Because something tells me 20 hours of this may not be the most exciting game to stream. There's a few more screenshots too. Let's see what we got here.
Muddling through the dark,
The art
you
is
stumble into
impressive
the path
too.
of the white deer. Its beauty strikes you.
I love
You know
deer.
a way out of here. As the hunter's cries get louder, you approach the deer carefully, palms outstretched. As you grow close, your features.
Oh, we just killed a white deer. That's great. Right here.
He leans against a fence and turns to face you as you pass him by.
They look extinct to you?
You're not sure those dull gray pigeons look anything like the pictures you've seen of past.
Yeah,
They're
sure.
lovely creatures. Guileless, really. Hunted damn near to extinction, weren't you?
You sense it's about time you start moving on.
Let's see what we got here. Oh, we got money. Let's see. Does he show up on the map? Is that the kid? Oh no, he's right there. So it looks like I am somewhere in New York right now. Come on, map. Come on back. Oh good, I can hitchhike while I'm walking. Any cars coming this way?
Well, I'm gonna scrawl my name on the bare bones of the earth. I'm gonna dig my heels into the ground. 'Cause when that ferryman come for to tally up
Game
my
certainly
worth,
has it with
I won't
presentation,
leave
doesn't it?
much behind to drag.
Clouds roll together to fill the sky.
Well, let's
The
watch.
lightning is so strong that it seems to open a path in the haze. The thunder is so immense that the ground trembles.
Well, I'm gonna heft my spade up upon my weary back. I'm gonna keep that stride stuck in my soul. 'Cause when my toes burn low and my trains
It's one of those games
run
that's
out
also
of
hard to
track,
talk because they're like mess up all the music
no one
too.
else to dig my hole. Well, I got no companion except the wind and the sea. And when
A few wanderers like you are looking for a place to camp.
We heard there's a leather.
You and the other wanderers find the cave easily, because his coat is crudely stitched from leather plates that squeak against each other. He's eating, you say, and point out his can of beans.
Je ne suis pas un fantôme,
The leatherman says, and adds,
idiot.
and by and by I'll see them far and long.
I'm not sure why the camera keeps
the
stretching
hotel
out.
is an old manor house that's seen better days. They seem old for their size, around 10 years old. The clerk behind the counter is old, and your room key is worn.
Oh, good.
In the morning, as you leave, the clerk got too tired to lie. You tell him about the noise
good.
outside.
Ghost twins in a hotel. That can't end well. Okay. What was that? We ran away. Okay, so the stories grow as more people hear about it. Alright, so there's the boy.
For to tally up my worth, I won't leave much behind to drag me down.
Yeah, so I can see why this game has over 20 hours of gameplay to it. Let's see if we can find one more person.
Heft my spade up upon my weary back. I'm gonna keep that stride stuck in my soul. 'Cause when my toes burn low and my trains run out of track, I won't be no one
We made
else
some money.
to dig my hole.
Yeah, then they made it slow to try and add to the ambiance, I think.
This beach is long. It outshines the stars with its presence. Its parabola heads south to north. In the far distance,
Who'll bury me?
Maybe the car will come and get me. Oh, good. Take the giant skeleton man. Hey, nobody wants to pick up a hitchhiking skeleton.
Well, I'm gonna cast my stones o'er the waters of this land, and by and by I'll
I guess that means I'm
see them
tired.
far and long. 'Cause when the night come down for to take me hand in hand, this will
Alright, so you're right
be
with
my
this bird.
tale, my vagrant song.
There we go. Somebody stop to pick me up.
This will be my tale, my vagrant
Something tells me Uber and Lyft aren't around right now. Hey, let me out. The frame rate seems to be taking some dips. It's odd for a game like this. That must be another person. Come on, let me out. I think this person's kidnapping me. Oh. He won't let me out of the car. This is Where the Water Tastes Like Wine. It is a narrative adventure game where apparently we are exploring America. Oh, what happened here? It's definitely more just focused on exploring and trying to put together stories.
here. Can you find her? His voice is soft, cool. There she is. He points to a specific cob. You don't really say anything. You're just interrupted by the sight of the man's face. A subtle hole under his...
Oh, good. Apparently, we have some stats, but I don't know what they actually do. It says we're tired, but I'm not sure what that means exactly. I guess that's an item we can use later. Let's see. So some hot apple cider.
It's the midday, and yet this whole neighborhood is eerily quiet. Everyone seems to have retreated into their homes as if warned of something.
The hand-drawn look, though, is still
You
very
soon realize
incredible.
you get behind a car, putting the engine block between you and the sound. But it's muffled, and running down the cobblestone street, a man in fine, blood-spattered clothes.
Keep
The
watching.
men responsible, 3 abreast in dark overcoats and wide hats, walk up to him to check.
Yes, that's another story. So the idea is we're supposed to get these stories to grow, in a sense, by going around the country, learning and doing stuff along those lines. And as you can see, we do have the entire United States to explore. Of course, majorly abstract, of course, but it's not bad. Although the frame rate issues are a little
Plants
annoying.
grow and blossom as you watch. The man goes down the line, applying a few drops from a vial as he goes. He turns to you.
It's quite something, isn't it? Soy here strangles the crops. People are starving. But even when the plants...
He shakes his head.
I'm not giving up my secret.
It's just bitter at first. But as you swallow the fibrous mass, he waves a hand.
Well, yes, there are some kinks to work out, but...
Alright, so where are we right now? That car took us like all the way down there. I wanted to go visit something in Pennsylvania. Oh, that's good. It actually, you can choose what you see on the map. Alright, so let's see who's going to be at this game. Yeah. They have a lot of well-known actors here.
I've met a lot of people like you on this road.
Alright.
There's something you want from it, isn't there? The desire that scratches and scrapes away at the sides of your body. Does being out here feed that part of you? It's that way for me, living in a state of motion, resting nowhere, returning to no one. I've been a wandering ghost for a while now, and I'll be that way for some time to come. But that's a fate I should have known I was in for. I'm a poet, after all.
So we're going to
Alone,
share our stories
out
with
here.
him.
I spend too much time inside my own head. Can you tell?
Sure, we can tell him the whole full story. So we have all the stories we have access to. So let's give him this one.
That's a good one.
Good.
We do reach up like that, towards hope.
So he
I
liked
had
that
a family.
story.
We were close. Me and Jess and Deborah, even Pauline. We had a shared goal in the world. When I think about any of them now, though, I can feel poison rising in my chest. They didn't do anything wrong. They're all still grand folks. It's just that the situation with Silas ruined my attitude towards them, too. Being jilted plays a mean trick on your capacity for love. I need an optimistic story right now. Something to put a smile on my face.
So the more we fill up this eye, it basically opens up more of his story. Let's see, what do we have? That's probably not too optimistic. have that we could actually use? Well, let's go for the hopeful. Let's make what he likes about Miracle Grow.
I like that one.
Nice.
Makes me feel the way Silas used to in the old days. What happens to your voice when you don't have a center? That's the question I've been asking myself. You can wander around or you can stay where you are, but what you say always comes from somewhere. It's important to have that place, that origin point for what you put into the world. I suppose the answer to my question is obvious.
I think that eye is going to be open for chapter 2 when we find this guy again.
There hasn't been any point. Sometimes I want to hear a sadness that resonates with my own. Do you know any...
Alright, so he wants a sad story. Well, then we got the perfect story for him about that.
The tragedy in that story, it's real. Have you ever tried writing poetry? Freedom. Sometimes I feel like I don't know how to use it. When I consider my situation in the mornings, I mean, soberly, I know there's no way to bring things back to the way they were.
So the eye is at its max, which means that when we find this guy again, we'll be able to hear more of his story. And the idea is we just keep building up our collection and just basically exploring America, or this very unique take of it.
I think I'll just find my own path. Surely, that's what's meant to happen now that I'm no longer bound. But how can I? That group was everything I knew. I was cast adrift. Sometimes I want to hear a sadness that resonates with my own. You know?
So really, I don't think there's any reason for us to keep going through the night. Like the... what is that, scat? Or jazz? He wants another tragic story, huh? Where is my story about murder? Here it is.
That one was like getting locked out in the cold with nothing but authority. Look, one day you start saying things should be this certain way, and you see that things aren't that way, and you get upset. That's where suffering comes from, that mismatch. So, you'd think it would be equally simple to say, things are going to take the form they take. Of course, that's easy as a concept. Silas introduced me to this Buddhist way of thinking. Sometimes I want to hear a sadness that resonates.
Alright, so he just keeps on saying sad stories. Do I have any more sad stories to tell him? I don't think I have anything more in terms of sadness. So this is why they say you want to get a huge collection of stories. I don't think this is going to work. No.
That reminded me of the past haunts me. There was a time when it felt like Silas and I were inseparable. Now, I don't know how to describe how much I've missed. Imagine that. A poet, that's the one thing I thought I could do. I miss the old group. I really do. I still have that image in my head. But on top of them all, there's Silas.
So I think there's
in my memory.
more...
You ever meet someone so far above everyone else? It's like they were from a that was him. A divine. Silas was part of the group, but at the same time, he wasn't. He was better than any of us. We all held him in respect.
I want to do a
We were
quick
in
time
awe
check.
of
Yeah,
his
we're about
power
50 minutes
as a
in.
writer, in reverence for the beauty of his soul. I still love him. Look,
Alright, so he's
I'm headed
leaving.
out this way. If you find yourself out there, maybe we'll meet again.
So we head up towards Wisconsin. We continue his story. There we go. So basically we're free to explore, but we're just looking for stories to build up our collection. I'm not sure what these items are used for. Maybe they unlock specific story paths or cues. Alright, so he's on chapter 2. He'll be ready for Chapter 1, or getting past Chapter 1 soon. And that is basically it. Again, we could probably spend who knows how long playing through this entire game. Probably take like a good 15-20 minutes just to walk from one end of the country to the other. But unless there's any complaints in the live stream, I think we could probably move on to another game of the evening, because again, this isn't exactly the best game to stream. But it's definitely an interesting game. I'm actually afraid to get into another car. Now they can just do something a little bit about these frame rate knobs. Would be good. This way, but better if I just walk. Oh, we're not even going the right direction. But yeah, this is definitely an impressive game. For like these kinds of visual novel or narrative-based games, it's important to have a strong presentation. And Where the Water Tastes Like Wine certainly has it. Something tells me I can't hitchhike on a train. But I think this is one of those games that it's not going to hook everybody, but if it hooks you, there's definitely a lot here. Let's see what we got.
A woman waits while a man in a truck fills two of...
Sure.
She takes you up the drive to her farmhouse, where son and daughter are mixed.
Sure.
You use a broom handle to mix the poison with bran.
Uh-oh.
The tea...
I don't think we can be killed in this game, considering we're already a skeleton. But I have no idea what's in our knapsack. I can walk on the river or the pond. But this is where our friend is again, so we talk to him, we'll get the second part of his story. As you can see right there. And with exactly 200 more stories to unlock. This could be a very, excuse me, very long time to play this game. But I think we'll move on. Oh wait, I have to try the whistle. Not sure what that direction means. Is it cluing us in on something? Or is it just him randomly singing? Or whistling? Alright. Well, I think we'll move on to something a little bit more exciting for the stream. But if you'd like to check out Where the Water Tastes Like Wine, it is available on Steam and on the major sites now. I would like to thank the developers for giving me a press key to check out. And like I said, if you like this kind of game, this definitely seems like one of the best examples of it. If you don't like it, I don't know if there's enough here to make you a fan or not. But for the live stream, if you folks want to hang on for like 1 minute, we'll switch over to something else. Maybe Into the Breach, or Chronicon, or something like that. Well, I'll have to see what I have available. But thanks for watching this first look at Where the Water Tastes Like Wine. And be sure to check for daily discussions on game design here and on Game Wisdom, where we examine the art and science of games. So, I'm going to pop out. You can see our lovely little screen there. Not bad. And we'll move on to our next game.